a vampire in this movie, actually. I think I saw him interviewed somewhere. Isn't he a vampire?
He is one of his newest movies.
The newest one?
Renfield.
Renfield.
That's fun.
Are they ready?
Yeah.
Hey, whenever y'all are ready, just give us a welcome to the F Movie Podcast.
Yeah, you know how it's
You all got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have to do it. Okay.
Hi, I'm Kelly Bell.
And I'm Kelly Bell.
And we would like to welcome you to
The FN Movie Podcast.
which F stands for fun.
And today we will be reviewing Willie's Wonderland, a tale about how the plague hits Big Bird and his friends.
Cookie Monster. It's
Oh,
tragic.
no. But luckily they were saved by Fauci, also played by Nicolas Cage, who was also a vampire apparently.
Has good teeth.
I would give this movie a solid 3 out of 10. Only because I think that the animatronics were a little bit off. I didn't like the ambiance of Nicolas Cage, if a person can have ambiance. And I wasn't particularly a fan of Big Bird's little son there.
Hey,
He
I
looks-
like National Treasure.
Yeah.
Anything beyond that.
Well, I think that we need to move in and we can take over from there.
All right, let's go, sis.
You guys are fantastic.
We should have our own show.
I know.
You were close. You almost got it.
You know what? Asking you will receive. Welcome.
Way to go. The animatronics. I don't even know what that means.
You guys were wonderful. That was so cool.
If you guys like Kelly and Kelly's content, make sure to tune in for more over at Kelly and Kelly Bell over on YouTube. We'll put the link in the description below.
We'll make him a channel.
At the Fun Night Podcast.
Yes. Fun Night Podcast,
that's their
Five Night at Freddy
channel.
Podcast. That's a good QA.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I hope the audio is good with it being all the way down there.
I have it to where it should be shooting for.
I'll just be extra loud just in case.
Okay,
We'll just
sure.
screw
Thank
it.
you.
Go with it.
Without further ado, welcome to a very retro studio episode of the F Movie Podcast. We're your hosts, Space and
We're
Dylan
just
Price.
missing a
Yep.
china cabinet.
Yep.
Yes.
We're missing the cabinet and we
Oh.
need the dog poster behind us
It's
as
gone,
well.
gone. It's
Yeah,
right
it is.
over here.
Oh god,
Yeah.
Kelly, can we get that back in the works? You're a producer of the show. Now that we're back in this studio, got it. We've got a budget again, everybody. Welcome to this. Gosh, this is season. Pseudo season finale.
This is the last. This is the last movie we'll be reviewing for this season. I guess we'll probably do some kind of season wrap up.
Yeah, we'll
Sure.
do something. We
Yeah,
usually
we'll
do.
start.
We usually do. Yeah. That's Nathan. I was going on the list of hosts.
Yeah,
and
I
stuff.
totally interrupted.
Then you
that.
got
You did,
interrupted.
and you're like, it's not important who I am. On today's episode, Nathan, what are we talking about?
Willie's Wonderland.
That sounds child friendly.
Yeah, it sure does. Weirdly enough, though, it doesn't actually include like Bert and Ernie and Big Bird and
No.
all
Unfortunately.
the
To
Sesame
buy the
Street
rights
crew.
to use Sesame Street for this movie would take the entire budget. They already used the entire budget on Nicolas Cage and Freebird at the end
Well,
of this movie.
and they also didn't pay Nick enough to talk.
That's
As
true.
it turns out.
It was very specific in the script.
He said, I
think
want
it paid off for
$1,000 a word, and they said, done.
that. All right.
You will have none.
Yeah, I'll
And how
give
much?
you all of it.
How much for grunts? $250. All right. They said, well, "Come on in." They flew him in for 2 days, and I assume shot it in less. Based on it.
Don't you like own a shirt of this movie or something?
No, so that's from Mandy,
Mandy.
which is
Okay.
another one that we reviewed. That's
forgot
the
about
tiger.
Mandy.
I did.
Oh yeah, we did watch
from
Mandy.
the bathroom scene where he's like
Yeah,
freaking
you're
out.
like,
Yeah.
"Oh!" And he starts to smash
One
and
of Nick
everything.
Cage's finest scenes in all of cinema.
True. I mean,
100%.
my shirt!
that one should have gotten an Oscar.
Yeah, that was good.
Hot take.
At least a nod, you know.
No, I would have.
But we're watching Willie's Wonderland, and I don't know what this movie's about. I sound like the two women who opened this podcast. I'd like to know what this movie is actually about.
Well, this movie is a classic. You show up in a nowhere town with no internet, no cell phone service, and really no way out to then be captured by some locals and sacrificed to a group of mechanical animatronics that have been possessed by serial killers. You know,
Yes.
that classic tale.
They were passionate staff workers,
Yeah.
though.
They
They, you know.
Tale as
given
old
some
as
credit.
time, I guess
Yeah.
you could say.
What was there was the birthday fun room or something like
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
The secret. No,
The-
it wasn't the secret.
No,
room.
it was.
It was like a back room where like the parties happened, like where
Right,
I mean,
that's
the,
where
VIP.
the-
right.
yeah, I guess
Oh,
it
yeah.
was something like that, and that's where the serial killers actually killed the families and stuff.
Right.
But yeah,
right.
this is all just a vague pretense to explain why in the world this story even happens.
Yes.
In the midst of this, we've also got a rambunctious group of teenagers that are gonna burn the place to the ground and stop these evil rituals that the town has been perpetrating for years now. So they end up getting roped into it. Meanwhile, Nick, he comes to this town. He has his tires popped. He is told just clean up this building for the night, and then by morning you can leave. And he does his job.
Dude,
Yeah.
you got the best work ethic you'll ever see.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
If we're getting into the actual meat of this movie, the fact that they wasted a whole montage of him literally just cleaning, waste
I
your time.
loved it.
No, I'm with it.
There's
I
nothing.
found
He
it very
just,
calming.
he's just cleaning. That's it. Like he
But
kills
that's
a
the point.
he
Yeah.
kills a Muppet, and then he starts cleaning, and it kind of calms down everything. And then he kills another one, and then it does another montage of him cleaning. I'm just like, I get that he's cleaning. Stop doing montages.
No.
I
Don't
thought it
waste
got
time.
funnier every time.
Yeah.
Because like he started, I don't know, in like the kitchen or something doing dishes, and then he, like you said, killed the first one.
Right.
And then he was
ostrich.
he was
yeah.
like cleaning stuff
And he
with
just
the
went right back
toothbrush in
to
the
it.
bathroom.
And
like,
then the gorilla in the
Yeah.
I
bathroom.
didn't
Yes.
realize the door was locked, and all he did was set down the corpse of the ostrich by the door
Yes.
and
Yeah.
went back to work.
True
It moved
efficiency, right?
That was pretty funny at that point, where he's just like one of those things comes to life, tries to kill him,
Mhm.
then he's like, I'm gonna go back to work and keep doing what I was
He's
doing.
like, I'm off my 10. I gotta get back
Right.
to it.
Also, if you were keeping it, so I will say early on, this is not the movie to be very strong on continuity. Continuity.
It kind of is though.
Yes,
everything gets explained.
Cleaner, yeah. Well, continuity rather in the film shots, right? Saying that so he starts in the fridge with 4 cans of One Punch. By the second time he opens it, there
There's
are 9
7 or
cans
9, yeah.
inside in there, and they have since multiplied. And that was one of a couple little things here and there where I'm like, oh goodness.
Yeah, Dobby wanted to come up here.
There was 1 or 2 things I remember thinking this is silly. Why is there more cans on this one?
Did he explain why he had so many of those sodas?
No, he didn't
that
explain
just
anything.
Seems like that's his thing.
Well,
It's his Popeye spinach.
Yeah.
Oh, that
Yeah.
because
That's
right
the
after
power-up every
right
time.
after
Yeah.
he killed one of them, he's like
Yeah.
and then he goes in and just chugs
Chugs.
one.
Yeah, just.
Which is why he's like clockwork going to
Right.
take his break to drink that drink
and play pinball.
and
Yeah.
play pinball.
He's taking his
after,
10.
after he cleaned it though.
Yeah.
Like he had
He
to
did.
he had to find it and clean it up.
There
first.
was that one moment where they the kids come in for the first time, which we need to talk about them. They come in and see Nicolas Cage, and then they go out and start getting killed, and they're like, help us, and Nicolas Cage is just playing pinball all
Right,
the time.
Yes.
Well, and at another point during this, he's so methodical about taking his breaks
Yes.
that the girl is about to get into a fight with one of the other
The liquor
animatronics.
one, yeah.
And
The siren?
He's
No,
about to
it's the-
he's got the knife out and is about to attack her, and then his
watch
his
goes
watch
off.
starts
Yeah,
going
that
off, so he
was
knows
it.
it's time for a break. So he just gives her the knife and then walks away.
off to go do
To
his
play
break.
pinball.
Yeah.
Also about the energy drinks,
Mhm.
sure it's like Popeye's spinach, but also he just got told that he's gonna have to stay overnight to clean this whole place. The first
Valid.
thing I'm getting is probably a few Red Bulls.
Yeah.
I'm, just gonna, I'm not used to that sleep schedule. I'm not used to this kind of thing. I'm gonna
Yeah,
try to
yeah,
make it.
fair
through.
enough.
Surprise third shift work is not easy, so
Yeah,
really.
it's tough on the body.
But
What-
to be fair, he was already ready. I mean, all of those drinks were in
Yeah.
his trunk.
In his trunk, ready to go.
It's like he
And
was preparing.
we also didn't talk about this movie from the top, and the beginning of this movie didn't remind anybody else of any other movie. I'll give you a hint, it was terrible. But the beginning of this movie is identical to another movie we watched. Again, it was terrible.
I mean, I get where you're going with it. I just
Are you gonna
can't.
say
think of-
Lawnmower
I
Man?
can't think of the movie.
Oh, it's Birdemic.
Okay.
It starts out, yeah, the
Oh,
driving. It's
yeah.
just
Well,
like it's
see,
just gonna
that-
drive for the
So the
longest
funny
time.
thing about that is, like, I remember watching the beginning of it and thinking, like, maybe Price is gonna like at least the beginning
Yeah.
of this movie.
Right.
And these are
Because
like
it
a
opens up so goofy,
It-
and like just the banter that they're having is very silly.
Yeah. The indie style shooting that feels like 2 budgets cheaper than it's like what is allowed in the
It
cinema.
looked like a neon production with all the red and the blue
Yes,
lights in
yes.
the background. Like it was just that very. I mean, I would almost say A24, but it was more like just the neon production. Kind
Right.
But like it immediately, like I was
Maybe,
off put of this
actually,
movie
yeah.
because it uses this horrible, ugly filter the whole time.
It's
I
a
would
dark.
hope that
It's
y'all
a
use, like,
dark.
I
almost like
hated
a.
it.
Vignette.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
yes,
Around
yes.
like the border-ish, and
Yeah.
like whatever's in the center is kind of a little
The
bit
focal
more lit
point
up.
by
Yeah.
all times, right?
Oh, I
Yeah.
couldn't
Which,
stand it.
you know, that one makes sense though. Like I'll go out of my way to say I don't mind that because I think that that's the movie's way of saying everything we're wearing and have in here is very cheap. So we have to find a way to hide it as best we can. So it's like when you watch gameplay trailers and like video games and it's very, very dark and they're like, listen, like if we put the light on in this game, it's not going to look as good. So we need to...
Yeah, turn it way down.
We got to turn it down. And
Yeah.
this movie very much knew it was a turn down movie.
But it gives every scene like this like pallor over it that's just like ugly, I thought.
I mean, it wasn't a pretty movie. I'm not going to go that far to say that, but I would say I get it from an artistic standpoint why you do what you do. Speaking of, from a standpoint of looking at characters, Bryce, you've adequately mentioned the Scooby-Doo gang.
Yeah, the pesky
for this
kids.
Let's go ahead and sum up their one-word character like definitions or one phrase. You got
Red shirts.
You've got the red shirts. You've got the main character. You've got the expendable slut girl and her boyfriend, Kaylee Cowan, by the way. And then you've got a couple other random people. Yeah.
I mean, when the main girl was tied up in her or locked up in her trailer,
Which fantastic
and
acting,
then
by the way.
and then
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They're all great actors.
Yeah, they are.
Good.
then when like the whole goof troop comes into the house, I was just like, this is like I know every single one of these people are going to die.
It's like the
Yeah.
Goonies. It's like any of those like movies, you know, from the past. Like everything was gonna be. The
It's
same.
like the Goonies, but like if somebody had taken Goonies characters, had watered down the character and like to like 2 words on a script, and they were like,
Yeah.
figure it out. Just
Yeah.
kind of like riff.
Yeah. They didn't have scripts.
This movie is just very much like trying to be classic horror trope
Yes.
without doing anything other than just wear it like on the nose.
Yeah.
Like it's not trying to be nuanced at all. Like it's just following the tropes and being over the top with it, which is also not a thing that's necessarily like new either.
No, over
Yeah,
the top
you see
horror
this sort of
is
stuff happen.
I would say
Yeah.
been modern horror for the last
Evil
20
Dead
years,
or
right?
you know, Dale and you know, stuff like that where it's just
Right.
like overly gory. Which
Tucker and Dale.
that's
a good one.
this is the same thing like with all of the oil that just gets spewed everywhere.
Yeah.
There's a mix of, you know, blood from the teenagers versus like the animatronics, which you guys want to talk about like just catching bodies.
Yeah.
I mean, Nick Cage just starts, I don't know, annihilating anybody in his path.
Dropping anybody that unless
every
it's
5
the sheriff
minutes.
with a gun.
Like you can almost
Yeah.
put your watch, just like he did his, almost every, I'd say 10 minutes or so, he
Yeah.
is fighting another one, and then another one, and then another
Well,
one.
And you know, speaking of the fights, my one biggest detractor from this movie, which I know there probably should be others, but for me, like,
Mhm.
I get that this is just like goofy horror schlock, and these characters are so stupid.
Please say it.
But it's still overall like kind of funny. But the biggest gripe I've got about it is the fight scenes that are made with these animatronics are terrible.
Yes,
You
that
can't
was
see
that was
anything
my that
that's
was my
going on.
number one
Yeah.
qualm with this movie.
Like, if that had been done better, I would have liked this movie more.
Right.
Yeah.
For sure.
There's so much creativity to have with like those as your villains, right?
Yeah.
And like there's little bits of teasing about it, right? Whenever it's the Tinkerbell one and she's like moving around at high speeds and doing stuff like that.
Yeah, like that stuff. She's probably one of the more interesting.
She was
Yeah.
the coolest one.
She's the coolest one, hands down, right? And for me, I was like, okay, we have like a neat idea. And the very next best we got was the chameleon with a tongue.
Mhm.
And I'm like, that's
oh yeah, the old lady.
right. Well, yeah, the one that was talking to the
one that
simp
tries
boy,
to trick.
right?
Yeah.
And she's like,
I thought that was
She
an
was
old
like
lady.
a
Like
Hypnotizing.
the spirit that possessed it or whatever might have been an old lady.
I don't know. She just sounded
Possibly,
like an old
yeah.
lady.
I mean,
but I know what
she
you're saying.
had kind of a.
yeah, I guess she had a little bit of a maternal voice, but whatever. The one that's in the arcade and
Yeah,
the voice, she's
yeah.
like, come on now, no, we're cool. I'm gonna teach you all sorts of snap. Like,
but with the action being so terrible, like I also like the choreography on this was really bad because
yeah.
I never understood why Nicolas Cage was such a badass compared to everybody else at all. Because like he's just like doing like normal kind of punches and stuff like that. Like
yeah,
he shouldn't like it doesn't make sense why he's the one.
Is the drink.
right.
Well, and just
That's
randomly.
literally like I feel like that's the only thing they try and like hammer on is like he's so good because he's drinking whatever that drink is.
Right.
Well, he
would
also
have to
just
be it.
busts out of handcuffs randomly. Like
Oh, yeah,
that's
yeah.
the point. He is just such an average man that is just brute, fist in a fist and just like taking these things down, using his plungers and his broomsticks at his,
Oh, the fight scene with the gorilla was definitely the most interesting. Like when he curb stops it on the urinal, that was pretty fun.
That was the best.
I like, you got me there.
It felt like they had like one good action move for every one at the ends, but then all the rest of the choreography was like just shake him and bounce him around the room or a little bit, like, stuff like that.
The gorilla scene also had one of the best cleaning scenes where there was something written in blood on the mirror, and he just immediately starts cleaning it off.
Yeah. Hey, Dobby, we're
like
filming
a
a very serious show.
Should I be concerned?
Right.
Like I definitely hear somebody talking behind me, but whatever, I'm here to clean.
It wasn't the door already being locked, the other animatronic that I've already had to take down. It wasn't any of this. It was, it's just, a little bit of blood on the wall.
Also, for my personal, headcanon, no, the gorilla does not hide above the stall. You would definitely see the gorilla. He is huge. He is Bromwich from freaking McDonald's. You would have seen that big dumb idiot. I would have respected the movie more if he goes over to the last stall, looks under, looks up and sees him, and just rips him down and just starts eating him.
To me, it would have been funnier if they actually framed it where you saw him up above there, and he still was just going through looking straight down.
Yeah.
Just to really sell the fact it's and he doesn't yet.
I think that might have been contrast.
Right.
If anything, that was your best lit scenario of the entire movie.
Yeah, it really is.
A white background with a black character,
Yeah.
But I think my favorite animatronic was probably the Hispanic sombrero.
The duck or whatever?
Yeah, whatever kind of
that just spoke Spanish.
Yes.
But
it kind of looked like a cappy.
Yeah. I'm not sure what it was, but my least favorite thing about that one was she took him down like nothing.
Kind of took him down. He doesn't actually go down until the very last.
And he gets ran over.
Yeah.
She hits him in the nuts 4 times, and that's as much as he needs to basically be defeated. Which is another thing about this movie where I'm I can appreciate that Nick Cage is such a badass, but these kids need to have a couple under their belt.
Right, these kids could have taken one. Yeah,
they could team up and take one down.
They could, except for Willie at the end. Willie proves that on the sheriff, which is the one really probably solid death. Just sideswipes her in half, and I was just all right, I can see why Willie hangs.
The rest of his crew easily could have been dispatched.
Yeah.
He's maybe actually got some power.
Nick Cage literally just sitting on what's her face, literally.
Yeah,
it's Tinkerbell.
He was
smothering her
with his legs.
Yeah.
And then he gets the alligator and
rips the alligator does.
An alligator, that thing that you definitely can't, that's the way that you don't deal with an alligator by holding its mouth shut.
Yeah.
You grab it.
They've got very weak mouth opening this way. That's why you can do that. But open wide, that's the wrong way to go. That's all the muscle power there.
Yeah.
So I felt. This movie's trying to be a little bit of action, a little bit of a comedy, a little bit of horror, and
a lot of tongue in cheek.
A lot of tongue in cheek, and I think that it's only doing none of it right. I don't think this isn't a buffet at Bland. I'll give it that, but this is just a regular Golden Corral, in my opinion.
Oh man, a whole lot of stuff that on the table, but none of it's good.
But man, I lost my appetite coming in the door.
Right.
Yeah, it's definitely a bit of a mess.
Yeah. This is the first movie I've given the Golden Corral award to, by the way, so that's a new interesting review mode and go find.
Yeah, this movie should have been a short movie or short film. It did not need to be a whole movie. They stretched it out way too much.
What was better, the free bird in this movie or the free bird in Kingsman?
Oh, this one. Easy.
Yeah, this one. You know what my favorite scenes of all time compared to
I only thought of you
stuff.
when that song came
on. And
I'm pretty sure at the end of The Devil's Rejects they also play Freebird.
Really?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, there's a suicide by cop scene.
Like an outro kind of it.
Yeah.
I'll give a quick note to the bimbo character, Kaylee Cowan.
Why do you know her name?
Because there's a folder. Anyway, I knew about her before this movie. I literally was like, oh, that's Kaylee Cowan. And I was like, nice. And then I was like, I wonder what they're going to do with her. And I'm like, exactly what I was hoping they would do with her. So case in point, good job. You casted one character absolutely right so far. Nick Cage was the only subsect character.
Because the love interest was terrible.
That was so stupid.
Yeah.
She was absolutely
miserable. The main girl reminded me of Jenna Ortega,
she reminds me of somewhere between Jenny Ortega and Paula Gayton or something like that.
Maybe the girl that plays in that Prey movie, the new Predator.
Yeah,
she kind of looks similar. similar-ish to her, but it's not the same girl.
Speaking of movies, I need to watch all the way through. That one was a banger from when I saw.
That was good.
Yeah, it's like set back in time.
It's solid.
Yeah.
Is it
It's on
like
Hulu.
the Alien Predator?
Yes. No, it's actually pretty sick.
Isn't it called Predator? Or
No, it's just
Prey?
called Prey. Yeah.
Prey, yeah.
Yeah, did
Let's
not
all
even
never
advertise
see
it
it.
as one, and then you get into the movie and you're like, oh, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they
'cause
they
it's-
kept their cards.
Because it's
close to
like
their
it's like
chest.
a caveman kind of movie.
Yeah, it's like Cave Woman
it?
is like
It's like a tribe.
tribe as well. It's
And-
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. the
Yeah,
planet-
We'll watch the trailer later. We'll watch the trailer
We're
later.
really off the rails.
Anyways, yeah, so the trope of the teenagers having sex and getting killed or whatever, I was just like, kind of feels like she could have easily been saved. That was the other continuity thing that bothered me, right? I knew I was on her for a second for a reason. Because they're literally walking down the hall, they hear her like, oh, let me out, let me out, let me out. And then it's like, they're at the door. And then the door gets kicked in, and then she is all the way inside the room, definitely dead. And I'm like, she was just right next to it. And he was munching on the black guy, you know, and he
was having a good time.
having a great time with
for a
him.
while.
Right, a little racist if I wanted, but like, quite honestly, and she a snack. Like, if I'm an alligator, I'm gonna chew on her. Like, I'm gonna save her that one. But like, no, literally, she's just dead over there in the corner. And I was just like, she could have been saved. Like, because it felt like they were trying to give her something. I don't know what character they're trying to give her. She starts out as like smart and witty and quiet, and then she's like bubblegum dumb. And then she's just bimbo, but also the heroic bimbo. It's like she was 4 or 5 different characters.
In the matter of like 8 minutes.
really
on
all
the
over
Yes.
the place with her. Like the
Yeah.
whole thing of her initially showing herself to actually be like quietly smart by going up and like
Picking the lock. Right.
while what's her name was trapped.
Right.
With the
She seems smarter
handcuffs.
than this girl for the first like 10 minutes of her introduction, and then like she
then,
starts
then
talking.
They just like dropped her off.
Yeah, for the record, I also don't feel like that her talking was ever consistent either. Like, she starts with an accent, or she doesn't start with an accent, I don't recall. And then later she has an accent to her, and I was like, what in the world? Did they just, I think she got all the lines of all the other characters, and then, like, she spoke as they were supposed to, and then they were like, yeah, let's just leave
Are
it.
you talking about the main girl?
No, I'm talking about the other girl.
Why are we talking about her?
Because
She's
she
not
had
important.
she had the 3rd most screen time out of any character, like, human character in the film.
No, I would say the sheriff had more screen time. Than
Let's
her.
talk about the
sheriff.
sheriff. Oh my god. So you want to talk about a biggest qualm with this movie is
Okay.
like I don't know how much of like this, what is it called, like when the tribe is all just a bunch of idiots, like
Village of Idiots.
yes, Village of Idiots. That's what I was looking
It's
for.
a tribe
Yeah.
of idiots.
Yes.
What's the other word?
We literally just said a village. Of
I mean,
tribe.
there's
We're
the
not
Village
Prey.
Idiot, but I guess this is a Village of
Yeah.
Idiots.
Everyone is like not morally sound. Everyone has, knows what the situation is, and they are all contributing to this thing. Where like, was it said that they tried to take them down at some point?
They tried to take them down, but at the same time they did a satanic ritual to pass their bodies into a
Did they try it
non-living
again?
being.
No, they tried to bulldoze them once, and then they were like,
that's
well,
the-
that's
yeah.
enough.
Yeah.
You
So-
know, in the realm of like problems with this movie, them being so easily defeatable,
Right.
yet having never been defeated up
Never
until
being
this
touched.
point.
They tried to do it the second time, but like Dylan was saying, like they were going to bulldoze the place down, but they got the guy who was
got
going
him
to
the night
bulldoze.
before.
They got
Yeah.
killed by one of the
Yeah.
people. Then they were like, I guess we can't touch him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's just
not do
sacrifice
anything.
more people, and hopefully they won't mess with us.
Let's talk to them like actual deities at this
Yeah.
point, and then just that's
Well, so towards the very end, the sheriff goes in there for her daughter, whoever that girl is, to her, and she basically, like, she comes in, and Nick Cage is taking care of 85% of the issue, right? Like,
Yeah.
he's taking care of
he's gotten 9 out of
most.
10 of the
Yes.
of the bosses.
And she is still like, honey, we have to handcuff him and leave him
Yeah.
here. And I'm just like, does she not
There's-
know that it's
Well,
almost taken care
okay,
of?
JK, I guess there's
Yeah.
there's 3 left at the end because he's fighting 2 of them.
There's a bird that's left on the outside of the building that he hits with the Camaro.
Yeah. Oh, I guess there's
But-
4, right?
But like, there's not many left.
right.
He is taking
It
care
is
of
at
the
least
majority.
half down, right?
Yes.
It's like just equip this guy.
Well, and if anything, she's freaked out that he's managed to kill them because she's like, oh, he's going to be so mad now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even though he's been standing there the whole time.
He's
just
been pretty
watching
chill about
them
this
die.
whole affair.
Just
right.
like chilling. And another thing with the other village idiots is like at the very end when like he just walks outside and like takes the Camaro, like they were even mad at him. Like
Yeah.
as soon as they saw him alive inside, they
Yeah.
were like,
Yeah.
and I was like, the problem's solved.
Uh-huh.
I don't think they knew that all of the things were dead though.
He's alive.
Yeah.
They've never seen anybody alive.
Right.
It's implied that he is taking care of
It
them.
begs the question of like what's their character motivations? Are they like, you know,
Do
obviously
they like seeing all the blood every day?
by the nature of the beast, they're like pro Willie, but like that's because they're under the Willie gun, right? Now that the Willie gun's gone, why are you just talking about character again, continuity. The characters are just now evil for the sake of being evil at this point, right?
Yeah. Maybe they've just gotten into this habit, this ritual, this routine of like sacrificing people.
I mean, I don't know if that's necessarily true, because towards the very end, whenever they're the owner of the building and the car shop mechanic are sitting in the car talking about the situation, like, you know, maybe we can actually turn this place around now.
Yeah.
We can have some fun with this place. Ha ha ha. But it wasn't until like they saw Nicolas Cage and they scowled at him like mad about having to toss him the keys to the car that they fixed.
I guess maybe there's argument to say
the car.
Maybe
right.
they were gonna profit a car. I don't know.
The guy was like, I just fixed this bad boy up, and he's
it's
clearly
sweet.
enjoying it, right?
Yeah.
So maybe that's the one bit of
Sure,
motivation
that's fine.
for it, but. Relative to the other problems in their life, that seems like a very minor. And how many cars have they gotten up until this point?
Oh, they're endless now. I don't know how long this has been. The girl, I did do the math. Like the girl, whenever the sheriff found her in there, was like 5, 6, and she's very clearly like 16. So we're gonna say 10 years at least that this is
26 playing 16. Maybe like
And
23.
they will show you 5 or 6 different people that have like been taken up until this point.
Yes.
So,
Right.
like, how regular does this happen? Is this a yearly occurrence?
Well, and they
Is
mentioned that
this every
occasionally
month?
they'll just kind of pop out and they'll just go munch on the town every now and again too. Before they were doing the whole deal, right?
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
before
yeah.
they made the deal, which was so stupid.
Which I
The
find
sheriff showed up and be like
Yeah.
a handshake.
Yeah.
Like this is our situation.
Also-
respect our boundaries and we'll respect yours.
Also, it's like if you're Willie and the crew, what's your motivation for this deal? Like, in theory, it's an unlimited food hack, I guess, because they eat the people. But like in execution, it's like you guys are just gonna keep making kids. We can just keep eating you. It could just be Pennywise. We're just gonna pop out. Also, what do they need to eat? Like, I have so many. All right, I have more questions than the movie wants me to ask about it. So
Yeah, there's something about them eating souls. Like, vaguely.
yeah.
Can we get to the shape of this movie?
Okay.
There's not much to talk about.
Let's talk about the shape of the movie. Fat, thin, perfectly fit. You know it. You love it. Nathan.
Man, it's just sloppy.
Yeah.
It's a sloppy movie. It's overly long. It's
It's an hour and 29 minutes too.
Yeah.
Just to keep that in mind.
which, you know, is one of like that count of time in a movie to me is like always the goal that most movies aim for, and the question you always have to ask whenever a movie hits that goal is, did they do that by filling it
By
with
choice.
Right,
garbage,
did they use the
or
time
did
well?
they do that
Right.
because they were cutting back from what they had
That's
otherwise?
true.
This movie probably could have cut back some more, really.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's like there's a lot of things that ultimately the problem is like just the movie needed better shots and maybe needed a little bit better character direction.
Maybe
like,
actors.
I get saying
People
like,
they
oh,
pay
you know,
for.
just be your stereotypical horror trope characters, but
Yeah.
there can be some interesting nuance, even if you're trying to do like some cheap schlock like this is.
Cabin in the Woods. Is
That's
kind of
exactly
like
what I was gonna
It's
say.
gonna be the
I promise.
example of that too. It's like legitimately, you want to have tropey characters, but have them entertaining and fun in the process. Like,
Yeah, because you still have the bimbo. I mean, literally, like
yeah, you have
those
the
jock
exact trope
of this,
characters
yeah.
in there. The jock that one, yeah. Price.
I don't care that this movie like is below an hour and a half. It's still so fat. There's so much that could have been trimmed off this movie. I think like half of it honestly could have been taken off. You don't need the little
45
subplot of
minutes.
like explaining why these people are alive, why the town's okay with it. They could just be evil for the sake of evil. Like this movie doesn't merit that much of a discussion. There's nothing that this movie does that we need to talk about because it tries giving an explanation when you don't need an explanation. And if you cut out the explanation, if you cut out all the stupid cleaning scenes, if you just turn off all that, you could cut this movie almost in half. It is entirely too long for what it was.
I guess you could say you could cut it in sheriff.
Dylan, your turn.
Yeah, that was good. So if you cut all the cleaning shots out, you have most of the good parts of the movie to me. Because I really could just watch a compilation of like that, and I would just be like, you would see my blood pressure just decrease in a healthy way. Like
that's soothing.
Yeah, you put some like lo-fi hip hop, like smooth, like low beats to it. I'm like probably really entertained.
Maybe some cute beats.
Stay tuned.
Just an alternate extended cut that is just Nick Cage cleaning.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want all of the shots that they cut of him cleaning.
Yeah, right. Where's the? Can we get the behind the scenes of that?
Yeah, let's get the deleted scene.
That being said, this movie is very fat. There is probably like 3, maybe 4 too many like things to be killed in this movie, with the action not being at all what it should be in it. Like I really think you get Gecko, you get Tinkerbell, you get Willie, and you get, I guess, Duck. Maybe one more early on.
Duck could have been so much better. Like, he was good, but man, they could have really fleshed
I guess we'll give Gorilla, but if I'm choosing between Gorilla and the Ostrich one, the Ostrich one was the one that felt like it did the most damage besides Willie, so, like...
Are you remembering the Knight as well?
Oh, forgot about the Knight.
I don't remember the Knight.
Yeah,
the alligator.
He's the one that, like,
stabs the kid.
Guy through the back.
Yeah, that was the very first kill.
And then he beheads the Knight at the end or whatever.
But
which
teenage kill.
Nice, nice callback to the Green Knight. I see you.
Yeah, right.
All right, so yeah, there's maybe like 4 or 5. Like I'd probably thin my own list on that one. More tropey nudity. If you're gonna go ahead and put it in there, go ahead and double down.
That is a good point. Most of the time with movies like this, you actually get this
movies
absurd nudity that you're just like,
you get full on sex scenes.
And and you still don't feel good about it, but you're at least like, yeah, they're gonna go this route, I guess.
All right.
So to piggyback off of Dylan, I want the opposite. So instead of having this established number of animatronic things to kill, I wanted them to be like zombies or like waves of just like randomly inserting new ones. Because like, I don't know, like I think that, with this vibe, or with the characters, you got these Sesame Street type things, you've got Tinkerbell, like you could have kept going with them, because I, for one, didn't care much for the outside world. If they were locked in this place and like the teenagers were sneaking through the ducts and and everything like this, like had a little bit of chit chat with the sheriff trying to explain it on the inside, like fine, but I wanted it to maintain like inside Willie's Wonderland itself.
Well, and the really interesting thing about that is there was a lot of potential there, because the building is seemingly quite large, and at one point
huge.
There's that fairy forest.
Yeah.
That makes you think, oh, is it going to be like, does everybody have like
their own little individual boss room,
their own theme, like that? That would have been really
and that's the thing. If anything, I think this movie is thin in that aspect. It's probably overall chubby, but like I wanted more animatronic things, because like, if you can win me over with a Spanish-talking bird that's like kind of quippy, like all right, that's neat. Or like Tinkerbell, how fast she was. Like they all had a little bit of something. Me personally, I think the gorilla fight was maybe the best out of all of them, and it wasn't because the gorilla was the funniest.
He like put a plunger on his nose.
You know why?
Just
You know why? You know why? Because they were in the bathroom.
Yeah, you ever had a bathroom?
Wow.
Look at that bathroom too. That bathroom, old and stinky. So
yeah. But yeah, this movie, that's what I wanted from it. I wanted more animatronic things. I didn't necessarily care about the village and how like they needed to sacrifice and do all this. Sacrificing was kind of a cool touch.
Yeah.
Like having like those was it pentagrams or whatever it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I thought that was kind of neat, but it's...
Roll that into your score, Mason.
Well, hold on. Do we got a question?
He did.
My only other question is, which animatronic character was your favorite?
It's Tink. It's like not even close. Like
Tink was cool, but she almost didn't belong, right?
She
wasn't
was-
a bird. She wasn't an
animal. Yeah, she
wasn't
wasn't like a furry
anything.
bot.
Yeah.
She didn't make sense to me overall, but she was kind of the coolest.
So I did look up a little bit after about it, and apparently they got an actress that happens to have like a long history of dancing. Like they're they're better for dancer. They're better known as a dancer than an actor, which makes a lot of sense.
It's like that Megan movie,
Yeah.
like the little girl who's like controlling her body.
So I guess they just wanted to give her more for that.
My question would be, do you think they tried to get the license for Five Nights at Freddy's and it didn't work out, and they went ahead and made a movie anyway?
It feels like it. Yeah, it feels like they had 2/3 of everything they needed for it, and they're like, all right, let's just get the license. And they're like,
know,
no,
man.
we could make a real movie. What do you mean? Like,
I mean, maybe they were, because I do remember this movie coming out roughly around the same
it was
time that a
Freddy
Five Nights
peak.
at Freddy's
Right.
was like being announced, and everyone, I'm pretty sure, was like, this is the one, right? This is Nick Cage being in Five Nights at Freddy's.
right.
Well, and now we're actually going to be getting that as a movie.
That's true.
Yeah.
Maybe, what if Nick Cage makes an appearance?
Oh my god. He
As
better be a
this
voice
guy.
actor. Oh, as this guy.
guy.
That's the crossover we're waiting for? You know what? With that
He just
crossover...
shows up and like eviscerates one
Right.
of the animatronics. animatronics and then leaves.
If that crossover does exist,
his watch starts beeping.
Yes.
What's the fake score that you give it if it's a crossover with actual Five Nights at Freddy's, and then what's your real score?
4. The fake score, I'd probably give it like a 7. If there was a crossover. No, this movie is rough through and through, but I still like it for what it was. I'd say it's still a 5.5. I almost want to give it a 6 because I do think that it's pretty fun overall. Like, I do think that an hour and a half is just the right time that this thing needs. It definitely doesn't need to go any further, but like, I just wish they would have done a little differently. If they're gonna be cheesy, I don't need the sheriff, not the sheriff, but the deputy and the mechanic at the end. I don't care about them. I don't care about their banter. I just wanted more inside.
Yeah.
We were introduced to like 4 people in the outside world, outside of the teenagers.
Yeah.
It was like the sheriff and her new little... What was that guy? Was
the
that guy the
sheriff
owner?
and the deputy, and then you're talking
The owner, yeah.
Tex
Dallas
is
guy,
Tex.
yeah.
I'm
Sorry.
surprised you didn't like the deputy. The deputy seems like a character written out of Birdemic into this film.
No,
Like,
the deputy was the audience.
yeah, he was.
It was so stupid when like he arrests the girl and is bringing her back, and she's like, "You don't do anything. You don't care about people." And he's like, "Ah!" And then he turns around. It's like, you just made this decision 2 minutes
And I
ago.
think he just joined the force like that
Right.
day or something. Like he was so.
Well, he's getting
dumb
paid overtime for
everything.
that night. That's what she was.
Yeah,
double over.
Doubled overtime.
And when they were about to go, he asked the sheriff, "What are we doing here? Like, hope that phone doesn't ring." And then finally the phone rings. She's like, "Hello? That sounds awful." And then hangs up, and she's like, "What are we like? Are we going to do something?" And she's like, And then they call again. Like, what?
Talk about confusing consistency. Why is he there if she's going to try to ignore it anyway, right? Like,
That's a great boy.
right? This is what I'm talking about. There's so
Also,
many
like,
little
why
moments.
would you have him involved at all if you're trying to like keep this thing a secret?
The
Yes.
character's decision making does not make sense throughout so much
And
of
these
this film.
teenagers know. Like they're
Yeah.
the only more like morally sound people, and they're like
They're in
15.
on it, and then they still kept following through with this
Yeah.
stuff, right? Oh my god.
man.
Yeah, you know, I wanted to give this a 6.2, but Mason's right. This is a 5.5. This is actually a very definitive 5.5, though, right?
It wants to be
This-
good.
this
It
is one of
wants
those-
to be fun.
This is one of these ones that's like it's a bad movie, but like I have my fun with it.
Yeah, I had plenty of fun.
And if it was just a bit more fun, it would be in the 6 category, maybe even 6.5 before like Rain of Fire. Oh my god, that might go to a 7. Every time I think about that movie, I think of just
It's so boring.
It keeps
though.
getting
You
better.
forget about the boring parts of that movie.
yeah.
I just wait for the helicopters.
I know.
For
God,
the fire and flames and the helicopters.
yeah, but this movie isn't like I'm not gonna speak for your 5.5. This feels like a definitive 5.5 for me. Like a bad movie that I totally actually has some fun to it. Some moments that I'm like, I would tune it back in for a couple of these scenes. But overall, if anybody reasonable was like, okay, but be real, no memes. Like, is this a good movie? No, not at all. There's so many like that's a movie you watch whenever you're like wanting to kind of hate watch a movie. And you're kind of wanting to pick at it more, right? Like, if I was wanting to watch the first Suicide Squad again, I'd be like, this is why this doesn't make sense. You could edit this here,
And you're
like,
just screaming at it the whole time.
right? Yeah, this is a movie that I kind of like love-hate. Like I love to hate it for that reason. But there's enough entertainment behind it that I can't really rate it too much lower. It wasn't entirely miserable, but there are definitely parts that are just like you're taking the piss. So 5.5.
For me, this was entirely miserable. The thing that's so frustrating is like Mason says it in like an almost loving word, like it tried to be good.
It did.
And it's like every movie tries to be good. Every movie. Like, you know what I mean? It's going for what it's going for. But this movie like reaches for something and just falls flat on every metric. I think it's absolutely terrible to look at. The soundtrack's terrible. And then they throw in a Freebird at the end for some reason, which is an iconic
That was
song.
supposed to be your slice of the pie.
right?
Let me finish because I'm on a roll here. Because Freebird is used to like accentuate the most iconic scene in the movie, whatever it is. Forrest Gump, whenever Jenny's about to jump off of the bridge or the side or whatever, or Kingsman when it's like in the climactic fight here. And then in this movie, it's just used for no stupid reason, and it's so it stands out so much because, like Dylan was saying, if it was in a movie like Suicide Squad where it's got tracks, iconic tracks throughout the movie, it's not as noticeable. But in this movie, it is so noticeable because the only budget they had in this movie went to Nicolas Cage and this song, maybe the animatronics. But besides that, the plot is just terrible. The characters are terrible. I don't even enjoy watching them in a horror sense. I hated every time they were on screen. I hated seeing the main girl the whole time. Like, her eyes were just bugging the whole time. That's all she was doing.
Were very bad.
She was just doing this the whole time. And I was telling Mason, like, she looks exactly like Krista, if you remember her. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Identical.
Yeah.
Just,
well, she was like.
I hated this. I hated this movie. I don't care that it wasn't long. It felt long. It felt way longer than it needed to be. Everything I hate about this movie, but at the same time, like, well, I mean, it's neat to see like animatronics trying to kill people and like occasionally getting one or two.
I don't know about you, but like you kind of go back to a place where like you were like, I don't know if you've ever been to Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh, I've been.
Oh, those
you
things
see that kind of crap where you're like,
it's
if
like
I could put myself in like this position at like a Chuck E. Cheese overnight, like. All right,
unironically, it is not too far detached from actual Chuck E. Cheese. Like, yeah.
Well, that's what it's going for. That's the one thing it kind of hits. And in that regard, just for some like cool kills, I'm just going to give it a 1 because at least it has something. Mm-hmm. But other than that, this movie is pretty terrible in my opinion.
Better or worse than Excalibur?
Better.
No. What'd you give Excalibur?
Prove it on scores.
Prove it on scores.
Too high. I told you, now I'm using all 0 to 10, but go ahead, Nathan, it's your turn. As the one who picked this movie.
It's easy just to type a 1 down. Thank you for that.
This movie is something far more entertaining if you're watching with other people to laugh at.
It's a party movie.
It's one of those kind of like, it's one of those things that you'd see like Mystery Science Theater.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Where it's just like, it's a thing to be riffed on and to like, together laugh at how funny it is.
It's a pinata movie, right? Yeah.
So this, I think viewing it on its own, not the way.
No. Isn't that how we all watched it?
Yeah,
yes.
It is. That's how. But the first time I watched it, that's not how I watched it.
So that makes a big difference.
Yeah. And that's not to say that that's the reason why I picked this. I don't. Again, I never really aim to pick a good movie.
That's true.
I aim to pick movies that I think are like silly, interesting, maybe worth talking about. Mm-hmm. And in that regard, I think this movie is kind of exactly what I was hoping for.
Yeah. Well, and whenever this movie came out, I remember we were still filming in here.
Yeah.
And like Nathan and I were pretty excited about this movie. Whenever it was like first coming out, I think you had just seen it like on your own without saying anything, and I was like, yeah, that movie was intense and strange.
The trailer,
like, cool.
the trailer of itself was definitely selling it as like a bad movie that you're gonna have fun.
Well, and that was around the same time as like. Nick Cage had done a bunch of stuff because we had just watched Mandy. There was Willie's Wonderland, and then there's also like something about the Ghost Land or something.
Oh yeah.
I haven't seen that one yet, but I've heard that one's one of the worst ones of this like series of very strange Nick Cage movies.
I'm gonna watch this, and I yanked it off there because I heard how bad it was.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean overall, it's not good. As a movie, it's not good. It's entertaining as a group watch. So I'm going to give it some credit for that, and I'm just going to land at like a 5. I don't hate my time with it, but I would not seek out watching this movie unless somebody was like... Unless somebody really wanted to watch it for the fun of watching it specifically.
I would make Hannah watch this because it's one of those things where I'm like, I think you're going to hate this.
She'd probably have fun hating it.
It depends on the movies. Like, I thought that we were going to have a little bit of fun with Never Back Down, and then I actually unironically really like it, and she unironically just did not get on that board with me.
Good for her.
Yeah. Without further ado, let's go ahead and... What did critics think about this? I do want to know the scores on this stuff. I'm forcing the arm of people on the scores of this movie, but I need to know.
Yeah, there's no telling on this one.
Critics gave it a 98.
And the audience gave it a 3.
Weird.
That's crazy.
Critics gave it a 60%. Audience gave it a 68.
That's
unreal.
That's surprising that they both went above us, all 4 of us on this.
Yeah.
one. We wouldn't even give it more than a 6.
I did not think it was going to be over a 30%.
We're harsher than most critics on this movie. Think about that for perspective.
So the autocomplete, while I was searching for this, by the way, was Willie's Wonderland 2.
Let's go! Wait, who's casting it, though?
So Nick Cage cult classic gets promising sequel update from writer, is all.
From writer?
It's not quite there.
Well, and how much does Hollywood appreciate writers, huh? Well, yeah.
Well,
That's gonna age
there's
this
an ongoing strike of the writers.
As it
right
turns
now.
out, it is
Yeah.
because
You
they
could
are
write it.
valued. I could.
You could write it, and you could probably get a green light.
Unironically, I could write it better. And then somebody, you know what? I hope to God if you're a writer who are for randomly watching this review and it was the writer of this movie, go in the comments, say, do it. And then I'll do it. That's all it'll
The
take.
next one has to be like the factory where they make all of these animatronic things, because then you have like just this endless wave of like you don't know who's gonna be there.
So, you know, that's basically talking about like Chucky.
Yeah, that's just
Yeah.
Chucky at that point.
That's Chucky.
That's true. Hey, is this movie not trying to be other things anyway?
This is Chucky with more characters.
This is making it more obvious that this modern trend of animatronics come to life is the same trend of dolls come to life with Chucky and Child's Play and all that.
Megan and all that.
Anyways, creepy dolls and stuff aside, if you like the content we keep doing season after season, new studios, new backdrops, new producers, new hosts,
table set,
new table set, same
runners.
Surprisingly, same old house. Actually, we're back at the old studio with it. We got kicked out of our last studio for being too rowdy. Anyways, if you keep liking the content, as always, let us know in the comments below. We'd spin the wheel, but we don't have it right now because it's a full of a new season. So make sure to tune in for whatever we end up putting in. We actually haven't talked about that. We probably should have did that before this show for the end of the season wrap-up content.
Okay.
We'll talk about it.
There'll be something.
There'll be something.
And at that point, we'll be spinning a wheel that might have some interesting changes. to
Yeah,
it.
we don't want to spoil you. Maybe we'll do a little vignette movie, a little 10 like a 2-minute movie or a 2-minute video where it's just like talking about the new idea for the wheel.
We won't.
I will. Anyway, guys, that's our show. If you like the content, as always, make sure to give us a big fat thumbs up.
Letterboxd.
Yep.
Letterbox is possible. Get that thumbs up. Hit that bell. Go into the comments. Tell us what you guys think. Is this movie fantastic? Is this a 5? Are we actually too hard on it? That's it. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye. What season is this? 9?
Like
I don't know.
6 or 7.
7?
This is really the end of the season?
Well,
Yeah.
so right now.
I mean,